Now, as South Africa gears up for the general elections on May 29th, the role of social media has become a focus area, with Sanef among the several bodies demanding that there be a level of regulation to ensure there's no disinformation which could undermine the elections. But tonight we ask whether social media has indeed influenced a great number of people's political decisions. To discuss this is Tshepo Matseba, Reputation First MD. Tshepo, good evening. We put the question to our viewers on whether social media plays a big role in influencing their views on political parties or even politicians, and they were split down the middle. Where do you stand on this one?
Good evening, Nomfundo. I think social media does have a role to play in shaping the conversation. But also importantly, it has a role to play in allowing citizens to participate fully in the engagement simultaneously without having the difficulties of whether they have access to significant resources. Just on their mobile devices, they can participate in a conversation. I think there, to that extent, social media does have a role to play. Importantly, the social media has taken out, removed all limitations of location, in the sense that now political parties can actually access the market of South Africans. And we understand that there are at least over 26 million or more people who are active on social media in South Africa. And that means that political parties have access to those markets almost freely because, you only need to actually post relevant content and engaging content for you to access a specific community and a specific market, a specific group of people, especially the youth. And so to that extent, it's an opportunity. And it's an opportunity that political parties actually should exploit fully. And we know that, of course, there are shortfalls, but for now we are talking about the extent to which it provides an opportunity to at least shape the narrative and to shape a conversation.
You speak so positively about social media, but on a number of occasions when it's been put to political parties that you can use this platform to mobilize, they've said no. Elections need money. Yes, you can, but the amount of people on social media is really nominal if you look at the broader picture. So they've consistently stated that you need money for an election, you need to be on the ground, you need to interact with ordinary citizens. For them, it's almost as though, yes, it can sort of allow you to add your voice there or allow for your brand to be seen, but they don't seem to share your views that actually it could assist them significantly.
In an election campaign, like any other campaign, but in an election campaign specifically, you need integrated communication strategies. So you can't use one of the platforms. I think social media presents one of the opportunities for engagement, but practical examples such as door-to-door campaigns, outdoor campaigns in billboards that you see around the road, posters that you see on street poles, and importantly, having a clear communication strategy about your manifesto and what you promise to the voter population are all crucial in an integrated fashion. But it would be a mistake to ignore social media, because it is such a platform that whether you participate in it or not, conversations are going to happen, and often opinions are formed about certain political parties and organizations based on what is shared on social media. Even if those opinions may be wrong, they are formed on social media, and therefore participation in shaping the narrative that takes place on social media can be beneficial for politicians. And those who ignore social media will soon realize that it is a massive opportunity missed. However, you and I and all of us agree that there are shortfalls and significant shortfalls. For example, and the whole issue of fake accounts and bots and individuals who create multiple accounts to say the same thing. So when you say, for example, the EFF's Julius Malema, he calls himself the commander-in-chief. He has about 4 million followers on X, former Twitter. But when you go and dive deeper into those numbers, you may find that some of the individuals are either multiple accounts run by the same person. And similarly, when you look at the ANC's about 1.1 million followers, or President Cyril Ramaphosa's about 2.2 million followers on the same platform, you may find that somewhere there you find fictitious accounts, which is what I think Elon Musk is trying to eliminate on that platform.
Most certainly. Among those problems, though, there's another one of the commercialization of influence through digital influencers. And one wonders the impact on the integrity of political discourse that would have.
Yeah, I mean, we see that every day with the so-called influencers driving a particular narrative, are taking other political parties, sometimes promoting openly and sharing a view and sharing insights. But where it goes wrong is where you go and you look deeper into who these individuals are. Are they authentic? And there you can see the distinction between an influencer in the form of a musician, perhaps, who is well known in South Africa, a celebrity, perhaps a sports person who's well known in South Africa, endorsing a particular party, a distinction between that and an account that just has a unique name that means absolutely nothing, but an account that has a significant amount of followers. And often when you go deeper and search where the individuals who are commenting or supportive of this influencer come from, you may find that they are actually completely from a different market and have no influence in South Africa's dynamics of politics. And so there, in that sense, you realize the shortfalls of social media. And the other important factor is where social media is actually used by the same influencers to drive misinformation, or what some people may say disinformation, where, you know, drive a particular agenda and create an impression. And we've seen, for example, today in a dialogue about this polls and political election polls that are created without actually checking who's behind the funding of each of these polls, and who, and very often you find that political parties are around these discussions, or in one way or the other, people who fund them are funding these polls. And so what you share and receive on social media as a voter has to be scrutinized. And I often refer to fact checks that media platforms offer around the world to check whether information that is being shared is true or false, and verify its authenticity.
There was actually a ruling in favor of Action SA on that particular matter that you talk about, insofar as polls are concerned, where it has now been stated that it would be unethical not to reveal the source, that you cannot just have a poll and then somehow you poll others negatively where they look like they really won't make much of an impact, and then you don't state where the source comes from. So I suppose it is a very important conversation. Tshepo, thank you very much for your insights this evening.